And then they teased Orton and Cody again. Cody asked Cody asked Orton. I can't get anybody's name right. Cody asked Orton to save a piece of Owens for him. And Orton said there ain't going to be any left. Apparently, he's just going to eat him like a bowl of nanner pudding. But then Cody said, well, I don't know what I'm going to do then. And Orton looks at the belt hanging there and then looks back at Cody and says, you'll think of something. So they're still dramatically foreshadowing this. Do you think it's all a plot between Orton and Owens? They're going to beat each other up and try to kill each other to lure Cody into a false sense of security?
Well, I think it would be more valuable if it was two separate things, but the other thing you have to think about is, coming out of the pay-per-view, which we'll review later, with all the Bloodline stuff happening and the Bloodline featuring the most over baby faces like Roman and Jey Uso, what is Cody going to do to be able to keep pace? Like, what are the good programs for him right now? Is it just Owens? And then what? If you go right to Orton, is that too soon because of all of this? But I guess that's fun to try to see how they work that out, but
well, but you know,
Cody needs something, though.
The next big guy coming back for next year might want to win the world title one more time. Do you smell what I'm cooking?
I do.
John Cena.
Hey, listen, John Cena, the big program I think they could do that would be great, but it would absolutely turn Cody heel, whether he liked it or not, would be Cody and Punk. That would be really intriguing, but I think it would backfire completely on Cody's reactions.
I think Cena could come, well, but they don't want Cena to be a heel either, but they could figure out a way to make that interesting for the Royal Rumble, couldn't they?
And The Rock, too. Remember, The Rock and Cody have unfinished business, so you have these things, but
I'm
feels like Cody's starting to cool off, though.
Well, I'm starting to wonder whether The Rock is ever going to finish his business or not. Because then he shows up at Bad Blood and stands there, and then we don't see him again. He just happened to be passing through. But nevertheless, speaking of the people who are cooling off or heating up or whatever, that was the main event. Gunther and Kaiser. You know what? That should have been his name. Gunther Kaiser. But Gunther and Kaiser took on Cody and Orton in the main event, and this has been just long anticipated. This match would take place, and they started it and went 1 minute or less to the break, and they came back with like 7 minutes on the air. So, you know, boom, Cody gave Orton kind of a blah tag, and Orton made a comeback and hit Gunther with the DDT and tried to hit the RKO, but Gunther slipped it. So Orton tagged Cody back in, and Cody made a comeback on Kaiser and hit him with the cutter. And then Orton RKO'd Gunther, and then Cody crossroads Kaiser and beat him, boom, 1, 2, 3. So that was kind of quick. But then as they were celebrating, here came Owens, no longer in his car. Maybe that's why somebody send security to check the parking lot. That's apparently where he is whenever he's sending videos from his car. And he nailed Orton with a chair, and at the same time, Gunther popped up and got the sleeper on Cody, and Owens stood there and did nothing to prevent Gunther from choking out Cody, and security came in, tried to get Gunther off, and that was all she wrote, as Mama Cornette used to say, except, have you seen what they're starting to add at the end of the program?
Oh, since they went to the USA Network, the executive producers?
Yes.
Virgil Riley Runnels Jr., I believe it said?
No, you got to update it. Paul Levesque, or Levesque, as we in the industry term it, and Lee Fitting. So, I mean, this is not anything that we don't know, but have they ever had any kind of credits before?
They have for events they've done, Because I remember they even had some goofy ones like executive producer Kayfabe.
Oh, yeah. Back in like those HBO specials and things in the early 80s, stuff like that.
Well,
right?
stuff like the Slammies.
And some of the Coliseum video slam. Though the Slammies, the production people at the studio got special permission to do some rib credits on the Slammies, too.
Do you think it's a smart thing, especially just in terms of separating yourselves from the previous administration? Letting people know this is a different, people who are just tuning in now, what's this at the end? That's not Vince McMahon's name there.
Well, then I wonder if they're going to do that.
Because what goes behind that choice of all of a sudden adding that? Not that he doesn't deserve credit, Triple H, but that's a Paul Heyman move, actually. Well, executive producer Paul Heyman.
Lee Fitting deserves a lot of credit for the way this thing looks now, too. I'm not saying they don't deserve credit. I'm saying it's a departure from what they've normally done, which is not have credits. And if they're going to have credits, why don't they go all the way? Because not only like your regional sports broadcast or your network sports broadcast or an entertainment show, they have directed by, audio, camera, whatever. Why don't they do the whole thing then? Because in the old days, wrestling didn't have credits per se because you didn't want to be Booker, although Dusty did with the TBS show, Virgil Runnels. Like that was a well-known secret. But there's no reason they really couldn't now. Don't put down agents for matches that tell the guys what finish to do. But for the technical crew, I wonder why they couldn't have some credits. Are you trying to keep these people from being credited?
I'm saying the only people getting credits are the two people of the three people in charge.
Well, funny how that works out, isn't it?
Nick Khan said, keep my name off this.
Yeah.
I have a very robust name. Please keep it off this.
What about Ari? Ari should get some credit. I knew he'd grow up to do good things one day.
He does. It's called a dividend, but yes.